Episode 33, DROD
Ready?
Shaniac Sports Podcast. Who are some
Let's go.
famous 33s? Kareem
Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar,
I
Larry
think Shaq
Bird,
was 33 for like 10 seconds somewhere.
10 seconds. Scottie Pippen, I think, is the only other one I
Scottie
know.
Pippen. I
Wasn't he
guess. I
33
think
on the
so.
Bulls? Something like that.
Feels
This
like
is
it.
this is the Kareem episode. My grandpa played against Kareem. Do you know that? Did I ever tell you that?
Who's your grandpa?
My grandpa played 1 year of basketball, his freshman year at Rice High School in New York City. I think that's in the Bronx.
Bruh.
But he played Kareem when Kareem was, I think, a junior or something. And he was already like, he hit his growth spurt and everything. He was like dogging people on the court. But that was the 1 year he played basketball. He got to play against Kareem.
That's like that's like our high school playing up against Cat our senior year because he graduated the same year as us, and you have Miles trying to guard him. Like,
Yo,
Cat's
wait,
like
that was real?
foot.
Wait,
Yeah.
we played, he was what, Joe's?
He went to St. Joe's.
In Jersey City, though, right?
Metuchen.
Metuchen. Oh,
Yeah, and he was like 7 foot as a senior, and then you have
Yeah.
Miles at 6'3" trying to guard this man at center.
Oh, bro. Oh, my God.
And now he's in the league putting up 60. Come on now.
Best shooting big man in the league.
It's still Dirk. He can go kick rocks with that one, but I get it.
I know he's feeling himself. You win the 3-point contest as a big man, and you beat out like every other good shooter in the league. You got some clout. You got some.
He didn't
clout.
beat Steph,
but he beat Trey.
What I mean?
Beat Luke Cornett. Oh, come on now. What that mean?
Trey's a wannabe Steph. Like,
oh my God,
you got to beat the original. If you could beat Steph, every time Steph walks in the room, he said, "Who's coming in second?" And he wins every time.
How much more does Steph have to prove? Steph's not even a big man. You're a big man.
No, but I'm saying,
put up 3 points like that. Come on.
He walked in talking reckless. Like, he didn't go up against Steph. He didn't go up against Clay.
He didn't say he was the best shooter. The best shooting big man.
Still Dirk. I'm pretty sure Dirk would have watched him.
If Dirk's in the 3-point contest, that's still debatable there.
Prime Dirk. I would even say prime T-Wolves.
Right now,
T-Wolves, Kevin Love would wash that man in a 3-point shooting competition. Like, short arm Kevin Love with like a 6'10" wingspan would have washed him in the 3-point competition.
I don't know. Caleb was nice, especially in the Timberwolves. He was carrying that team.
Exactly. Even though they were trash.
They were trash, but he was carrying that team. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Best shooting big man in the league is kind of funny. This is episode 33, DROD Shaniac Sports Podcast. This is a baseball episode, though. So last week we hit you with the football episode. A lot of trades went on, and you guys got all those updates and everything. NBA season will be done probably by next week, right? I think last couple games coming up this week, got like 4, 5, 6 games left.
I think the 12th or the 16th or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Coming up close. Shaniac's Nets. It's okay. Tough loss, but are still in the play-in and are still looking like one of the better feared teams in the playoffs, with or without Simmons. And my Knicks are long gone. They are looking to next year. There's already too many Knicks fans giving garbage takes that I will address most likely next week because I cannot get into it this week. I need more frustration to build around that. So with this being a baseball episode, let's start with some breaking news that happened. What was that? This morning, yesterday morning, afternoon, something like that.
I think it was this morning.
Yeah, because I know the article with the Athletic came out. I'm pretty sure that was yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday. It was an interview with the Athletic. Brian Cashman, Yankees GM, has an interview with the Athletic, very reputable sports news magazine site, and he brings up some baggage, some dead bodies from 4 or 5 years ago. And as we remember, we being Yankees fans, of course, 2017 was the year of the baby bombers, the year that was supposed to be.
Well, it was really just Judge and Sevy.
Judge, Sevy, Gary.
And that's it. Glaber was the next year.
Before Glaber, that was before Andujar. I mean, they called it the baby bombers because it was pretty much like a young core that was leading them through the regular season. So the year of the baby bombers was put to a halting end in game 5, 6, game 6, 7 in Houston, 7 in Houston. Because 6 was 19, and they lose to the Houston Astros in a series that was, I mean, if you look at our episode from like last year where we reviewed those, heartbreaking Yankees losses, I think that ranked probably 2 in all of those, just because of how close we were.
I think low-key
2019 was 1.
I think low-key it hurt so much worse for me. 2019 is still number 1.
Undoubtedly.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I think 2017 hurt a lot for me because we really outplayed them the whole series, but we couldn't beat them. We couldn't score if you just look at the numbers for the whole series, I think we outscored them. I think our batting average was higher. The issue is when we got to Houston, we couldn't score. We couldn't get them out because they were cheating. So that's why we couldn't get them out. I don't know why we couldn't score. That still is brutal to me to think about.
You could also, as we always pick upon those Gary Sanchez plays at the plate.
100%.
That's part of the reason why we couldn't get them out.
We beat them all 3 games at home, but we lost all 4 on the road. And like we were all saying, oh, it's because they were cheating and they knew every pitch that was coming. Like, but at the same time, we didn't score. Like every game was like 2-1, 3-1.
Yeah.
We had like one game where it was like 4-2 or something like that.
I'm pretty sure 2 of those games were Verlander games, right? And Verlander games in Houston, we never win those.
No, actually,
like 1 or 2.
The Verlander game was in the Bronx, and
game 1 was a Verlander game. I'm pretty sure.
I'm thinking of the wrong year.
That's 2019.
I'm thinking 2019 when Giancarlo went deep on him and then tore his hamstring or something like that and had to sit out the rest of the series.
Oh God, no. Yeah. No, he had a strain.
That was 20. No, it felt like he tore it because he's like every time he played.
Deep on him the second time, I think.
Yeah.
Game
every time Giancarlo played, it was like, man, Giancarlo's a monster. Hamstring. He comes back from one game. Yeah, Giancarlo hits another home run. Hamstring. Like that was just a really bad series.
Brutal.
Brutal. So what was the question that they asked Brian Cashman? Because it's still vexing me.
Quote from The Athletic. I have the article open right here just so we can specifically reference what they're talking about. Cashman general manager. Oh, paywall. All right, we're going back to ESPN. I'm not paying for that. You stopping me. All right. Cashman interview Wednesday with The Athletic disputed the notion that the Yankees are in a prolonged title skid and cited the 2017 team that lost in the American League Championship Series to the Houston Astros, who were eventually sanctioned by Major League Baseball for illicitly stealing opposing team signs. So it sounds like they asked him, about the Yankees World Series drought. First things first. And for that has been since 2009. This will be year 13 if they don't make the World Series as of the end of the season. Obviously, Yankees fans every year have high hopes for the Yankees, but not just fans, but I'm pretty sure the league and even, Vegas and betting and everyone's always putting the Yankees up to a high standard. Why is that? Because they haven't been under 500 in decades.
30 years, I think. 92 was the last time, I think.
Yeah. And, it's not like the Yankees have had the most death-defying, impressive teams for the last 2 decades. I mean, you could cite the early 2010s, late 2010s, early 2000s, early 2010s, up to about that point, where you had the core 4 with the Yankees, who had that blistering starting rotation. Mariano was in the peak of his career for that decade in there, and when we did our draft with Sean and our guy Nate. We picked that decade where the Yankees were effectively, in a quote unquote slump. And it wasn't even a decade. It was like, 6 years, 20,
a bunch of
years?
Super old former Hall of Fame track guys that fell off a cliff and then went to the Yankees as a reclamation project and never worked out. Yeah.
It was basically something for like a last ditch effort at glory for not just the core 4, but for a myriad of players
Everybody.
throughout the league. Yeah, pretty much. Andrew Jones was like 40 practically and came to the Yankees, and players like that. But so the Athletic starts off by asking him, how he feels about it, and obviously, it's to the GM. There's no other way to put that. As the GM of the Yankees, it's disappointing, and I'm sure that at their closest attempt, which was the 2017 series where they got to Game 7 in Houston, again, that has to sit so high up on Cashman's radar for World Series potential teams, just because of how close they got. They were on the brink. They were at the 1 yard line. They gave up a 1-0 lead, I'm pretty sure, right at like the 7th, 8th inning, something like that. We lose that game like 2-1, 3-1.
I think the game ended like no, actually, I think that game was the game where like Lance McCullers came in after Charlie Morton or something like that and just washed us into the ground. Like,
we got iced out that game.
I think it was like 5-0 or like 7-0 or something like that. It felt like that game 7 was a no contest.
It sits again so heavy in Yankees fans, Yankees management's hearts, because 1 yard line. We were literally right there at the World Series. So I think the follow-up to that question had to be something related to that 2017 team. Cashman, it looks like, as a direct quote, says the only thing that stopped the 2017 Yankees was something that was so illegal and horrific. Cashman told The Athletic. So I get offended when I start hearing we haven't been to World Series since 2009, because I'm like, well, I think we actually did it the right way. Pulled it down, brought it back up, drafted well, traded well, developed well, signed well. The only thing that derailed us was a cheating circumstance that threw us off. I don't see anything wrong with this statement. I would possibly argue that, again, the Yankees had opportunities to win 2 of those 4 games that they lost, right? And
I would probably even say 3. I don't really remember how Game 1 went.
I remember look up that series.
Game 2 and 6. It felt like Game 2 and 6 we should have won. Game 7 we had no shot. Like, I'm telling you, once they tied the series back up, because we were up 3-2. Once they tied it back up, I was like, ooh.
It was no. Game 1 we should have won. Massa was on the mound. That was the game that Gary gave up the game-winning run to Altuve. Game 2 we lost 2-1 again. That was a Verlander game though, and we scored 1 run because Verlander iced us. Actually, no, that would actually be the game that Gary gave up the run because Chapman has the loss in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's
so game 2. So, but again, Game 1, Dallas Keuchel's on the mound. Keuchel used to kill the Yankees.
Oh god, he used to rip us a new one every time.
I know. And now he's in the White Sox, and he doesn't do it anymore. But when he was on the Astros, he was something different from the Yankees, man.
Gosh.
2014, 2015, when they won that wild card game.
When that was him against Massa. That Massa was nice in that game too. He only gave 2 runs.
I know. Yeah, and so they repeated that Game 1, and it looked like he iced us again, another 2-1. So 2-1 in the first, 2-1 in the second game. Yankees come back in the third to New York and blow them out, 8-1. CeCe was on the mound for that one. We destroyed Morton that game. Yankees win Game 4, tied the series. Chad Green comes up big late. That was the game with like a Didi hit, a Gary hit. We came back from like 4-1. We scored 5 runs in like the 6th or 7th, something like that. Yankees win 3 in a row at home. Masahiro comes up against Keuchel again. We won 5-0. A rare opportunity for the Yankees to come in and win that game. Yankees are up 3-2 in the series. Go back to Houston. They have Verlander Game 6, Morton Game 7. And Houston blew us out in both those games. 7-1, 4-0. Both of those games.
What was that? Then it was probably Game 1 and 2 that I thought we should have won, and we should have just swept.
Yeah,
like, there was 2 games. There was 2 games on the road where I'm like, yo, we should have blew them out, because they, even while cheating, they only scored 2 runs.
I know. So and one of those runs had come in the last inning, the last play of the game on a walk-off RBI double.
Altuve was on second, 2 bases. Gentlemen sweep, because I still think they probably would have won Game 1 because Keuchel was nasty. But Game 2, 3, 4, and 5, should have blew them out.
Yeah.
Come on,
especially with the way the offense came alive in that Game 3, 4, and 5. Then again, the Yankees are a completely different animal when they play at home in the playoffs, and that's just the vibe of being in the Bronx too. Like, you play a game of baseball in the Bronx under the lights, Game 4-5, you got to win. Yankees are like on the brink of disaster. The Yankees are winning that game.
Exactly.
No doubts. No doubts. So like the article goes on, or they explain on, that in 2020, the Astros found out, or the MLB found out that the Astros use center field cameras, blah, 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 video monitoring, and a trash can to relay opposing teams, which still is like hilarious to me because it seems like so like old, like something a Neanderthal would do. Like obviously not the video camera, like refeed, but like banging on a trash can in the back room of the dugout. Like what?
But that's how they got away with it because
you
think it's too stupid to be that's right. Too dumb to be your plan.
And I guess like you kind of have to figure, the stadium's loud enough and there's enough going on to distract pitchers, opposing players, fans even from, picking up on that sound. But if you're an Astros player, you kind of have to say, through all the noise, I got to listen for banging on a trash can.
But it was loud. Like when they played it back, you're like,
the John Boy breakdown.
You're telling me we missed that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, they must have they must have turned up the volume here or something for these replays because there was no way I was watching the Astros in 2017. As many Yankees Astros games we watched in 2017, there was no way nobody heard. Boom, boom,
signs, bang, bang, and then who was it?
The guy on the White Sox.
Yeah,
it was on the White Sox, not Giolito.
No, it was an old guy. I think like somebody. And then all of a sudden you look and it's just like he's about to throw the pitch. He steps off because he hears it. At that moment, I would have just accused him right there. I would have just threw the ball in the dugout, like stop banging on the trash can. I can hear it. I would have just done it right there. And then of course you can't.
I would have told the umpires, I'm like, there's some noise coming from somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if it's a dugout, if it's a fan. It's gotta stop. Like, and usually in sports, officials are pretty like, anal about making the game perfect, like making sure that there's no interference. Mind you, did you see that Senegal soccer game the other day?
No,
where mad fans had laser pointers? They counted like 300 laser pointers pointing at like Egypt opposing players while they were taking penalty shots. Y'all send you the tweet. It's ridiculous. He had green lights flashing on his face like this. Like at that, it had to have been like a health hazard at that point. Like that man has to check his eyesight at some point. But they didn't stop the game or anything. He had to take a shot with 300 lasers pointing at his face, and he missed, and they lost. But again, that's back to my point about officials and kind of hunkering down on that stuff. It seems weird that nothing happened, and still nothing has happened. The league has done nothing about it. This Astro stuff, they kind of give like a finger wag, and
because they had to.
That's it.
That's the thing that kind of gets me tight though, because they said, if you tell me what happened, I will not punish you. I would have never said that.
There could have at least been suspensions, like
no, you can't. Like, they did.
Front office.
They
fired them.
They were pressured to fire the managers, which is why Alex Cora got fired. And then of course, as soon as the suspension was over, they rehired him. But AJ Hinch is still like, I think what they should have done. I think what they should have done is just ask questions, and if they keep saying I'm not saying anything, they're lying, and then just suspend them. Like, do one of those, because it's like at this point you really just like hurt. Like, there's 2 whole franchises that were affected by this. More than that. The whole AL West.
Yeah, and actually,
they
I was going to
blew up the AL West that year.
Yeah. They torched their own division. They torched the wild card game.
Exactly.
Their road to the ALCS was a breeze. Literally a breeze. So I don't blame Cashman for being mad. Obviously, being a Yankee fan, I guess you got to stick by what he's saying as your GM. But aside, even if I wasn't a Yankees fan, if I'm a Dodgers fan in 2017, of course I'm mad. Of course you want to return to the World Series the next 2 years and want to blow these teams out of the water. But getting there is hard. The road to the World Series is probably the hardest route to a championship in like all of sports. It's the most like enduring, like exhausting, like road trip that you got to take to get there. 162 games, players moving up and down. so too many factors for me to even think of to name, like, even right now. But, having the Astros get that far and win it all in 2017, of course that leaves, like, a stain on how you look at the World Series, how you look at baseball even that year. And you can even chalk up, the Yankees and Red Sox using iPads and teams using, like, stadium sounds and things like that to distract players. And I'm sure there are other little things that the MLB has cracked down on. It feels that the MLB did not crack down on this enough. They kind of let the teams put up to it and get along with it. That's just how I feel. What do you think?
But like I said, at the same time, what could they possibly have done? Because you can say, oh, we're gonna suspend them, but if there's no proof, you can't. But at the same time, if you don't, you're just saying like whatever. But then they had to say whatever technically in order to even get anybody to say a word. But really and truly, what they should have done was just like, no one's banging on the trash can in the concourse.
Oh,
no one's banging on the.
I mean, they are, but not for baseball.
Not for baseball. And how would they know exactly what's coming?
No.
Like, you can see, like, even though Jose Altuve said, I never used it, bro, you had, like, you went crazy that year. Like, you went crazy. Yeah,
I know. Was he not a runner-up for, like, MVP?
No, he won MVP. Judge
it was him
supposed to be
Judge were
MVP.
MVPs.
Judge beat him in every number but batting average.
Yeah.
And hits. Judge beat him in every other stat and still didn't win because Altuve went that crazy. He had like 220 hits. He had like almost 80 something RBIs, or maybe even like 90 something RBIs.
Average,
exactly, because he had all them RBIs because everybody else was using the trash can and everybody was on base for you.
Yeah. I mean, trash can aside, Altuve's a decent hitter.
Altuve's a great hitter still.
So I mean, he hit like 260 the year after. It was COVID year, but you know, like
no, 2018 he was
still
nasty.
a really good hitter.
2019 he was still nasty. 2020 was his COVID year.
Those are the alleged still, banging years. Is 2017?
Actually, I think they proved that it was only done in 2017.
Huh. Okay. What I know is that there was never a real investigation launched by the MLB. It was more instead just like, MLB finds out about this. MLB intends to put pressure on these teams. And before the teams had a chance to say, okay, you can launch the investigation, they swept everything, right? Fired managers, let go of.
No. So what happens was they said, oh, if you speak, we won't punish you guys. And then everyone started speaking up because they signed the agreement. And they're like,
but what was the speaking up? It was one Astros pitcher who had
no. Like
everything.
The only people that didn't admit were like the big guys. Like I think Correa said no. He didn't say no one cheated. He said Altuve never cheated, and I'll go to my death with that. And Altuve said, but I didn't cheat. And it's like, but everyone else did, so you benefited from that. And then I think some people admitted it. Like, it wasn't that many, but and the agent Hinch going to talk about, I knew what was happening, but I didn't say anything, or I didn't know what was happening. And Beltran was like, you saw what was going on, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I was the mastermind. So that's why. And then once he said that, it was like, okay, now the front offices can't go into the season. You can't go into the season with AJ Hinch as your manager after getting caught with that. Mm-hmm. So you had to fire somebody.
No, of course. So the teams again took action before anything else, could be sanctioned upon them, which could have been long-term suspensions.
No, can't.
Could have trickled down into if the MLB
wait. Though. MLB suspended AJ Hinch and Alex Cora. They said none of the players were going to get affected by this.
But it would have trickled down into the players as well.
No, you can't. No,
I mean they signed. You end up having to. No,
they signed. They signed the agreement saying that no player can get touched, which is why the word started coming out. Yes, and that's why everybody was upset because they're like, "How could you possibly sign that? Like, not sign. Like, how could you offer them that?
Well, that's what. Yeah,
you ruined the game. Why would you offer? But they were like,
but again, that's an integrity.
No one's gonna snitch.
No.
Even if you're angry with the Astros,
once they gave them the freebie, it was basically like, oh, okay, so here's what happened.
Exactly.
And then they have to let the coaches say.
So then they said, okay, we didn't say anything about the coaches. And even though the coaches kept saying, oh, I knew nothing of the sort, it was like, yeah, but you still heard it and you didn't stop it. So you guys are suspended. AJ Hinch got suspended for a year, and then Alex Cora, who was the bench coach on that team, got suspended for a year as well because of his Red Sox stealing, sign stealing, whatever it was. Even though that was never proven, but he still got suspended for being in both.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So then, of course, both managers sat out the year, which was a COVID year, which got me so angry. And then they got a job the next year. It's like, you only missed 60 games. I don't care.
Well, I mean, you can't blame anything else on that except COVID. Like, yeah, they would have, if it was not a COVID year, they would have missed the whole season.
I would have said 162. Okay. I would have said 162. They said one season. Asterisk. You got to miss 162 regular season games because that means it could have went 2 years.
Fine print. Fine print said one season, and they didn't elaborate on that at all. Like, again, what this comes down to is the MLB mishandling what could have been a more in-depth investigation, and the Astros specifically getting away with cheating, point blank period. And I mean, to end what Cashman was kind of putting out here, he says, I'm past it now. It does bother me when it comes up. We built something that I can't tell you we would have won. I can't tell you we would have beat the Dodgers, which is I think what the point of us getting into this right now was. But I do feel pretty confident that the team, the Astros, wasn't stopping us if it wasn't for those advantages. That's all. Again, I agree. Nothing wrong with the statement. That is a
how much how much that changed the outlook of baseball. If they don't cheat, right? If they don't cheat, we don't trade for Giancarlo Stanton. We probably signed Bryce Harper. We probably have an outfield of Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge. Timeline
did you just get access to that granted you these visions?
Because the reason why we didn't get Harper is because we're like, why would we get Harper if we just traded for Giancarlo like 10 minutes ago? Well, so it wasn't even that. I think it was the year after he became a free agent in 2019. So after after that year, we're like, yo, we got to get stronger. We got to do blah, blah, blah. So we sign Giancarlo. We trade for Giancarlo. If that's the case, we don't need it because we just won the World Series. We're chilling. And we get Bryce Harper. Now we have a lefty-righty combo. Granted, Giancarlo's my guy. I think Giancarlo is one of the best players in baseball still.
Yeah, and the other aspect of that timeline is that Giancarlo was effectively our DH from that point forward. So, yes, there still would have been an outfield spot for Harper. I remember Harper was still making waves as a potential Yankee in 2019 just because, why not?
Because, what year did they...
They got Stanton in 18.
No, I mean, what year did the Dodgers go to the World Series? That was 2018.
2018 against the Red Sox. Well, 2017 and 2018 against the Red Sox, and they didn't get 2019 because the Nationals beat them out.
So I'm trying to think, what year was Machado? That was 2018 when Machado was on the Red Sox. I mean, got traded to the Dodgers.
To the Dodgers, yeah.
Yeah. So yes. So I'm right. So we had to trade for Giancarlo 2018 because we're like, yo, we have to beef up if the Astros are going to be like this, blah, blah, blah.
And the Dodgers were going after Stanton as well.
Everybody. Well, it was Yankees, Dodgers, Cardinals, and Giants. He said hell no to the Giants because they weren't good at the time. And then he looked at the Cardinals. He was like,
potential, but it wasn't really. It's an ML. It's a central team.
Think about it. Yankees don't have to trade for Giancarlo. Now, after 2018, we're like, okay, let's make another World Series run. Then we say, give me Bryce Harper. We have Bryce Harper in left, Judge in right. Center field is in that alternate universe is Anthony, not Anthony Volpe, is Estevan Florial, who's somehow Jesus. And now we're sitting here with the greatest outfield in baseball. Exactly. Instead of us having Joey, like granted, I love Joey Gallo, but Joey Gallo's not that good. He's a great defender and he hits bombs, but ask him to really hits bombs. Yeah. Yes, but he's still going to be one of the league leaders in home runs. He's just not going to hit for average.
Well, no, I mean, that's exactly what he did practically last year.
Yeah, he had 38 last year, but with like a 190 average. And it's like, bro, you're useless. Like 90% of the time, you're useless.
I'm telling you, bro, you just got to bunt down the third base line like
3-4 times, and they'd be like, okay, bro, he's going to
once every 3 days. Eventually, they'll put the third baseman back where he needs to be, and he'll have more space to get hits into right field. But that's an interesting way to put the Yankees.
Like, of course, that alternate universe has like a 3% chance of ever happening. But I just like to think, because remember, Bryce Harper's contract is team friendly, only $26 million a year, for what he's giving you, who just won an MVP. Him and Judge 2, Bryce Harper 3. Gary Sanchez probably turns back into Jesus.
I was waiting for that one. I was like, all the pressure's off of Gary Sanchez. He actually resurges to have a better season than 2016. Crazy.
I'm telling you, the only thing we probably just
comes
don't
up,
get.
He's consistently good.
We just don't get Garrett Cole. We probably have like, I don't even know.
Sevi doesn't get Tommy John.
I'm telling you, bro.
Massa stays.
It's Massa. Like, come on, bro.
Monty comes back. He's as dominant as he could be. There's a lot of things that happened since then for sure. I mean, you could also argue even that, you know, the Dodgers don't become this monstrosity of a team that they are now because they've just been consistently beefing since 2017. It almost feels like every year they don't win a World Series, they inject themselves with like chemical X and just go 10 times harder.
Because 2017, their team was good. Clearly, they got to the World Series. 2018, they lose Corey Seager, so then they add Manny Machado. Like, I think Corey Seager contributes a little bit more to a team, but Manny Machado is better defensively. But he was. But he's better defensively. He's better offensively. Like Manny Machado is just an all-around better player. The issue is Corey Seager from the left side. He's a little faster than Machado. So like it's just that where it's like.
And he played shortstop for them.
Right? Yeah, and Machado's an all-time great third baseman. Machado is a good shortstop, good. He's not great.
He wasn't meant to play shortstop in LA, but
he only had to do that because Corey Seager had Tommy John or something like that. He tore his ACL or something random. So think about that. So then they add him in 2018, and in 2019 they didn't make the World Series. 2020 they go absolutely
2018 and 2019 were the 2 years that Kershaw blew it in like the middle of the series.
Come to think of it, did he really blow it?
I mean, he did give up one of them, like the game tying and like game leading home runs.
We found out they was cheating. We were like, this boy had his head down on the bench,
down bad,
slumped. I mean,
I still have that picture on my phone.
And it's like they was cheating the entire time. I felt so bad because it feels like every year it's against the Astros. Like both times, it's like, man, I feel so bad for this guy.
It's real bad. It got real bad. And then the countless Red Sox series in 2018 that just went to extras like every single game. One that went to like the 18th.
And he blew one against them too, I think too. And it's they were cheating too. Granted, it was like, oh, it's proven that they didn't. No, I was cheating. Alex Cora was in both. They were cheating. I don't want to hear
that. iPads, Apple Watches. Apple is the low-key sponsor of the MLB. They got the Microsoft Surfaces in the NFL, but in MLB it's Apple.
Oh, they're doing the Apple TV Plus Game of the Week or something like that on Fridays now. People are sick.
The conspiracy is true.
Free. It's free for the first couple. So like Mets play one, I think the Yankees play one. But like the rest of the year, I think once June hits, if you don't have Apple TV Plus, GG's. Like you're not watching any Friday games because like half of them are going to be on Apple TV Plus.
I don't know anybody with Apple TV Plus.
I have it.
You really?
I didn't do it on purpose. I bought my laptop and they gave it to me free for a year. And then I made the reminder. I made the reminder to deactivate it, and I forgot. And it was like, yeah, we're charging you. And then I actually realized one of my favorite shows on there. See, I was like, this show's insane. So I was like, let me just keep it.
At least there's a reason, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, look. So MLB season starts next Thursday. Next time we'll probably be talking to you guys is the start of the MLB season, and we'll have game one is, I'm pretty sure that's Braves Reds. I think. I don't know why they would start off a series like that.
It was supposed to be Yankees Red Sox, I think, but then it was supposed to be Yankees Rays, I think, or something like that.
First week of the season, I think, right? Yeah.
I think the first game
would have been tomorrow. No?
Today. They usually start on Thursday.
31st? Yeah.
So to give people a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Well, more importantly is that, MLB season is back and we're ecstatic about it. We're going to be giving you guys content all season long. MLB content comes year round. And I guess just to kind of kick off this MLB season starting next week, me and Shane came up with 5 players that we are going to be excited to watch coming up soon. What is that? Is that a recorder?
I got it from Puerto Rico.
Wait,
I'm sorry. I don't know why I picked it.
I don't know why I got from Puerto Rico. I got a couple things. I got this. Keep this on.
Oh man, I should have got one of those.
A nice sun hat.
Oh man,
this at the beach, bro. Serious.
Oh my god, I'm jealous.
Keep it like this the entire time.
Yeah, I actually did. I had like the huge bucket hat with the strap, the black one. Yeah, I wore that in Puerto Rico. It was very nice. But yeah. Let's get back.
Puerto Rico. All right, bro. We got 5 players, each of us. You want to go one by one, or you'll just list
one by
5?
one by one.
All right, I'm gonna start with my Yankees player that I'm excited for, and obviously, the buys is coming in. Listen, I expect Judge to do his thing. I can't really be excited for Judge because excitement is an understatement for Judge. You have to be ready for everything he brings you every season. He's going to be our nonstop, all-day, hardworking player.
He's getting a contract. Excited. You could be excited.
I mean, but it's obvious. It's too obvious to be excited.
He said he's going for 50 this year.
Oh, am I supposed to be excited for that? I expect that. I expect him to go for 50. I expect him to go for 80. I want him to break Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire's record.
He said he had an absolutely otherworldly year last year and only went 39 and 98.
Only, right? Like as if that's a bad year. That's a great season for Judge. Like
no, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. His expectations are up here.
He said 50. Like Judge, you did 52 your rookie year because you had almost 15 in April. You're not hitting 50. No one's hitting 50 again. It's gonna take a like an absolutely insane year. People are throwing too hard out the bullpen for people to be aiming for 50 home runs. Let's pump the brakes there. And you have to be on a bad team to get to 50 home runs. Because eventually they're going to start pitching around people. That's the only reason why Giancarlo got there in 2017, because they were like, nobody cares about Miami, and was just throwing him meatballs right down the middle. He was just hitting bombs, just teeing off.
I mean, it's not that. You just intentionally walk the guy every single time he comes up on a bad team. They were going to do that with Juan Soto
but they didn't do
Nelson Cruz this year. But
yeah,
I'm just saying I can't be the most excited about Judge because I'm already the most excited about Judge, right?
Yeah, me too. It's not going to get more than
is this. That same like 1A, 1B combo with Judge because
I'm excited about Stanton. He's not my pick, but I'm excited.
He's not my pick either. My pick though is Gleyber Torres, and I'm strictly going Gleyber. I mean, I'm so excited because the Yankees have finally found his place. They've stopped all the rumors. They've stopped all the talk about him being apart, being what he could be. He's got a kid now. He's having a decent spring training, which means come April, he's going to be hitting bombs. He has a legacy to protect. He's got a wife and kids at home. You can't disrespect Gleyber at the plate. I'm excited mostly for Gleyber because I know he's had a couple down years last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the season where he finally realizes, like, this is a different Yankees team. They wanted me a part of it. I'm here now. And I found my place, whether that be at second base or, wherever. But at the plate, I think he's going to come through for us big this year. Big time underrated. Every time he comes to the plate, I'm going to be excited for him. Like 100% excited, ecstatic.
I want to agree with you, but I think the fact that Gleyber that has been trash for the last 2 years is keeping a healthy DJ out the lineup. I'm not a fan of that. So I don't know if I can be excited for Gleyber. Like Gleyber is going to have to be insane for me to get excited because
I don't even know if he'll be completely out of the lineup, DJ, though, because I know like the starting IKF thing is like the ideal part.
Who's playing short if IKF is not Gleyber?
Boone says it has to be Gleyber. Yeah.
Yes, we don't want that. So that's what I'm saying.
I get that, but it keeps DJ in the lineup.
You understand the issue with that? What's the point of having DJ and Gleyber in the lineup if Gleyber's going to make a bunch
IKF
of errors?
Lineup.
Well, IKF is going to lead the team in hits. If he plays the whole season, he's going to lead the team in hits.
And hit in ground ball hits that's he fine. Could potentially beat out, maybe.
That's fine because he's going to bat 8 or 9, and guess who's batting leadoff? Rizzo, DJ, or Donaldson.
So yeah, he scores from there. That's great.
He's going to score a ton.
But Gleyber in the lineup is more exciting.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
With a DJ in the that's my point here.
But
is that Gleiber is going to bring the
it.
excitement. I mean, they have to, because you can't keep IKF the whole season.
Yes, that's why they traded Gary and Gio for this man. They didn't trade for Donaldson. They traded for IKF. Donaldson was a throw-in.
He's a better utility option though around the field. They don't have Tyler Wade anymore, so you gotta have IKF around the field.
You know how I don't know that for sure? Because when he was a catcher, he played only catcher. When he was a third baseman, he played only third base, and when he was a shortstop, he played only shortstop.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna play catcher that often.
No, he's not. But I'm saying we haven't seen him on any of the years where he was amazing. We haven't seen him bounce around. He was only the catcher, only the third baseman.
Realistically, I could see him splitting time with Donaldson at third to move Gleiber into the lineup. Or to have Gleiber move over and DJ at second or DJ at third.
That's best case scenario if Gleyber decides to play defense. If Gleyber is
but you can still keep him at second.
If still bum shortstop Gleyber, DJ hasn't played short since he was like in high school.
No, you don't play him at short. You keep IKF at third at short, you keep DJ at third, and you keep Gleyber at second. So it would have to be splitting Donaldson.
You're not paying $25 million for a bench bet. Donaldson's playing every single day. Like,
you think so? Yes. You want to put a bet on that?
It's the Yankees, so he's not going to play every day.
You're gonna try and play him, but he's not going to play every single day. He's not your everyday third baseman.
He is the everyday third baseman, guaranteed.
They're going to be moving that infield around a lot. I can already tell you, because they've been doing it for the last 3 years.
Here's what's going to happen more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be I think Rizzo's gonna go like not 162, but Rizzo's gonna go 150 plus. Because that's what he's done every year before last year when he had COVID. He went 150 plus.
He's getting older though, is the issue.
But it's first base, and it's not like he's like super agile. He's never been super agile.
But that's the issue. He's getting older. He's gonna turn into lefty Luke Voigt. He's gonna be that. He's gonna be that.
Let me slide that away because that was filth. You gotta stop that.
That's not filth. That's true. Are you serious?
Anthony Rizzo is way more nimble than Luke Voigt. Way more.
Go look at the Luke Voigt split that he did at first base to go pick a ball.
Yeah, and he had foot stuff, so he couldn't run around the bases. Like Rizzo is one of the best defensive first basemen in the league.
I don't doubt that. I'm not saying he's a bad first baseman.
He's still going to be better at first base than Luke Voigt. So I'll say is
the point here is that the Yankees are moving the infield around a lot. They're going to have to.
So this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen first.
Mm-hmm.
Rizzo at first, Gleyber at second, IKF at short, DJ at third, Donaldson at third base. Giancarlo's going to go to right. Judge goes to center. Either Gallo's in left or Gallo's going to be in left and Aaron Hicks is going to get the boot. That's what's going to happen.
No, but that's I agree with that.
But
Hicks is coming off an injury year.
But to say that the Yankees are going to sit Donaldson or sit IKF, no.
It's not even sit Donaldson. It's that he's not going to play the full season. It doesn't matter how much money he's making. He can't. He physically has not played a full season in like 4 years.
Why?
Because he's always hurt.
But it's really the teams are just not in it. So like it's just like whatever.
That's not true. He was on a playoff team in Toronto and in Oakland, wasn't he?
Toronto that was like 10 years ago. That's what I'm trying to say. When he was on the Braves,
Donaldson is always hurt. Boot.
Nah, bro. He's playing the whole year. Unless if he does not get injured, he's playing. He's going 145.
Not even to be a downer about him, but realistically, I don't see him playing third base every day, just because the Yankees have so much.
If he's healthy,
so much strength in the infield.
If he's healthy, and outside of just regular days where the Yankees either put him at DH or. They're not going to just sit him for no reason. I'm telling you, they paid $25 million for this man. He's playing every day. Like, I don't think people realize, like, he's playing every day, bro. I don't think you get it. $25 million. Like, I wish I could agree with you. I want to say sit Donaldson.
No. Again, this isn't about sitting Donaldson. This is not about sitting him. This is about him being able to physically play every day. He's not going to.
He's gonna play, bro. If he's healthy, he's in the
No.
lineup every single day.
If he's healthy, that's where the problem is.
But that's
Shane.
with everybody on the team. So we can't just put it all on him. The only person that I would say whether like that is just gonna end up playing is Glaber, because Glaber almost never gets hurt. God forbid, don't knock on wood.
Oh,
but like,
yeah.
But like everybody else is injury prone, except for Gallo. Gallo's going 155 probably.
Okay, but I mean, the initial reaction to the trade for Donaldson was why he's always hurt, and from that point on, you kind of have to figure, okay,
was it?
We're not going to have this guy starting for us because he's going to be hurt like most of the time. That's what it happens every year, Shane. Every year for the last 4 years, he's been hurt multiple times.
I think my initial reaction to that trade was, why pay $25 million for a 36-year-old?
Because that's the most Yankees move.
Literally, that was my initial reaction. I love Donaldson. I think Josh Donaldson is a he's just nutty. Like his hair, he's
stuff
just
with Cole.
Yeah, but that's kind of what we need. Like we need that. Like I'm gonna knock somebody over to win this World Series. Like Cole is not. He doesn't play enough. He's a pitcher.
He's also a pitcher. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Gets in once every 5
So like
days.
Judge wants to be captain so bad he's trying to be Jeter, where he's just silent. And then you have Giancarlo, who's like he's the on-field guy where I'm gonna show you up. I'm gonna hit this home run. I'm gonna pimp it. I'm gonna bat flip, and then I'm gonna point at you when I run around the bases. That's Giancarlo. But he's not gonna be vocal. Yeah. Like Josh Donaldson is like, let's go. He's like the Hunter Pence at this point in his career. Like
he plays, yeah.
You're so stuck on that, bro. If he's healthy, is the stipulation. If he's healthy, he's going 145.
I have no other reaction to it.
$25 million. You don't sit $25 million.
You don't.
Why do you think?
I'm not arguing that.
Why do you think CC stayed in the rotation even through his bad years? Because it's CC and he was making $25 million to be a 5 ERA guy for a stretch.
If he was making $4 million at a vet minimum, he still would have been in our rotation because he's CC Sabathia.
But that it's Josh Donaldson, MVP guy.
Josh Donaldson is not a Yankees legend. If anything,
so okay, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole put him in a blender last year 3 times.
But he said it. He's like, thank God I don't have to strike out against this guy.
Okay. I don't have to shoot against Cole anymore. Let's stop talking smack about sticky stuff. I'm just so oppressed about it. All right, wait. Let's get back to our topic here. I'm excited for Gleiber. Who are you excited for?
Oddly enough, I'm excited for Aaron Hicks.
Okay. That's a respectable pick.
I don't really know why, because I don't think he's going to play as much as he should.
But he's an exciting player.
Because if he comes out the gates hot, like 2017 Aaron Hicks, DJ's not playing, bro.
Well, then, yeah, the field is set.
DJ's going to have to, Glaber's going to have to be.
Now, hold on, though. Because we are paying DJ a lot of money still.
15 mil. He's going to have to play once again, which is why everybody thought the Yankees were going to trade Glaber, because DJ's not a tools guy. DJ's not a guy that's going to run. He's not super. He doesn't have a strong arm. The reason why DJ plays
third or he sticks at second.
The reason why DJ plays because he's a gold glove second baseman that gets hits. You don't lose hit ability. You might lose pop, but you don't lose hit ability. DJ's nasty everywhere. So
that's why I think I agree with you on the Aaron Hicks part, is because Aaron Hicks is kind of a wild card. He's a switch hitter guy. You can hit him anywhere in the lineup, good or bad. And when he's hitting, he's probably one of the most important factors to the Yankees. One of the best center fielders
in the league when he's hitting.
He's healthy, yeah.
Not even really healthy, because even when he was kind of unhealthy, when he was hitting, he was still nasty. But then he just fell off a
Twin series where he was making diving catches. That game.
That was one of the best endings to a game ever.
My God.
But yeah, I'm excited about him because he's talking about going 30-30 this year. If he gets enough at bats, he can do it. If he gets enough at bats,
he has to get enough at bats and be on base enough. Like he's got to hit straight singles every time.
He's an on base guy though. Like his on base was like, I think 1 year was like 360, like for a guy that was hitting like 240.
I mean, that's good for 240, but like
that's
for
amazing.
A Yankees team that needs a hitter, he's got to get on base a lot more.
Then 360, come on, bro. Judge's on base percentage is like, yes,
bro, your on base. a good on base could easily be closer to 4 or above 4.
No,
for like a really good hitter.
That's elite. That's Judge, Trout,
That's
Juan Soto, Joey Votto.
It's that standard 3, 4, 5, like standard? 300, 400, 500. Yeah, right. Not standard, but like good. Like you gotta be good.
You have to be great to get an on base percentage that high.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Donaldson lived for his whole career at 350. And that was like, this guy's amazing. Why do you think the Yankees are trying to bat him leadoff? Because he's just insane at getting on base. So that's why I was shocked. Because like, talk about slow. like him or Rizzo. I want him
as my leadoff batter. Yeah.
I was
but
like,
if it's a guy who gets hits, then I guess you can kind of argue it. But it's just that the guy behind him just has to hit a home run.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way to put it.
No other way.
He's got to hit a home run. I mean, again, I agree with the Hicks part because he's an exciting player.
Oh yeah.
It's the health aspect again. And he's another guy who's he's got to be the most healthy out of all of them.
He's worse than Stanton almost, because when he gets hurt,
it's worse than Stanton.
Like Stanton gets hurt, he's on the IL for 15 days. Like maybe when Aaron Hicks gets hurt,
average. Yeah.
That guy is out for the year every single time. So, Tommy John, he got lucky that it was a short season. And then you have the sheath in your wrist because you played golf too much. And he said it straight up. He's like, I'm not even going to talk about golf this year. Like, thank you.
Aaron Hicks' most solid season, like in recency, is probably 2018. But that's also because he played over 100 games. He played 59.
Didn't he have like 27 home runs or something like that?
27 and 79, yeah.
Yeah, like, come on. He can do 30-30.
He had 11 stolen bases that year. He's gonna have to work for 30 stolen bases, though.
I don't think so, because I think the Yankees are trying to run this year. Like,
well, that's the other. They got IKF for a reason. Yeah. They got LeCastro back for a reason.
Glaber's gonna be out. I think Glaber's still 16 this year, and that's what Glaber being the worst hitter in baseball for a stretch.
Yeah, well, when he's on base, he's got to move somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe that. All right, this is another player that I hope is on a resurgency tour. Just because I genuinely like him as a player. And because, like, he's just a team leader. Yes, he's been an all-star already. Like, the excitement level is already there. But I want Christian Yelich to be one of the best players in baseball again. I'm really excited.
I'm glad you said that, because that was one of my National League picks.
Yeah, man. I mean, just because, like, the last 2 years, and of course, one of those being the COVID year, was just a terrible year for him. And then he got hurt last year, right? So he's missed most of the season.
He didn't miss most of it, but he was hurt. Yeah, so he was just really
bad. And he wasn't the same player, like, easily. But again, a guy who, like, comparatively to Harper almost was, or to, peak Belly, Christian, Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger, yeah.
But, he's in those talks for the last 3-4 years, and these last 2 years have just been a decline. It's just a guy, again, that I'm hoping, like, this is the year he comes back.
Let me tell you how bad the decline was. I don't like to use MLB The Show as like a comparison, but he started the year last year
what happened?
At like an 89. He ended the year as a 74.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how bad he was last year.
Oh, that's
Think
brutal,
about that.
Though.
He ended the year as a 74.
Oh my God.
He had probably the worst year that we've ever seen out of like an MVP guy. Like, he was so bad. So I think the real issue is that the Brewers still were nasty with him being one of the worst hitters in baseball. So
but it is the NL Central. It's the other thing.
Yeah, but NL Central NL Central before, with a Cubs team that still, after they got rid of all of their Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, all of them were gone. They got better with Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel. Like, they got better with those guys. So they still had them to compete with. You still have the Reds before they traded away everybody. You have the Cardinals who were in the playoff mix. You have
I say that being the last team is
trash.
The Pirates.
So they're nothing.
But I say that being that every time an NL AL Central team gets into the playoffs, they get smoked.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the talent is on the coasts.
If you have elite level Christian Yelich on a Brewers team with Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, you have Brandon Woodruff, you have, like, that team is nasty, bro.
Who's Willie Adames? The guy that they
Willie
got from
Adames, one of the best ones in MLB The Show. Nasty. Think about it like that. If MVP level. You don't even need MVP level. You just got to get Marlins Christian Yelich back.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And
330 hitter,
you
30
have one of
homers.
the best teams on paper who would be a dark horse World Series pick for this year with how nasty their pitching is. You cannot touch their rotation.
Mm-hmm.
You can't touch them.
Did the NL Cy Young last year, so good luck again this year.
So that was the same pick for me. So who's next for you?
I was gonna say you go with your third, but I'll go.
Go ahead. Because we just talked about the second. Go ahead.
This guy went off last year. We haven't seen much of him in the years past. He's a catcher, and he's still one of the best in the league, Salvi. I'm excited for what Salvi brings to the AL Central, only because he's Salvi. And it's just, he's one of those standout catchers that, again, you have to look at him and compare every other catcher in the league to him. Offensively, no one touches him. Defensively, he still kind of got it.
Yeah.
It's like even at his age.
Only catcher that's close is
Real Muto?
Nah. White Sox.
What are you thinking? Yasmani Grandal.
Yasmani Grandal. The issue is he walks so much that the few times he does get to hit, he strikes out. So it's like
he walks because he has one of the best eyes in baseball, but then he also can't make contact. Salvi crushes the ball. I think
if I wanted to start a team with one of the two of those guys, I would probably choose Yasmani, but not for the reasons why you think. I would choose Yasmani because, like you said, he's a switch hitter. He's a switch hitter with pop from both sides with elite defense. So
I think that would make sense, especially like if you were to build a team, construct a team, whatever.
Yeah, like if you didn't know what their careers would
be. Yeah.
I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about like just in general. If they were both rookies, like bright-eyed rookies, like I would say, give me Yasmani every day of the week. But then looking at their careers, like of course you're going to take Salvi every day of the week. Yeah.
And that's just because of his bat. Like defense, yes, he's great. His bat, elite, best hitting catcher in the game, no contest. So, an exciting guy mostly because he's the best hitting catcher in baseball.
Yeah.
Who's your
my next AL pick, and this is like I'm just excited to see if he gets better going to another team, and it's a combo. The two Reds guys that just got traded, Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez.
Okay. I thought it was Castellanos, not traded.
No, he's on the Phillies. He's on the Phillies, yeah. So I'm kind of excited to see how. I'm gonna say more so Jesse Winker, than Eugenio, but low key Eugenio more so because Jesse Winker is gonna be nasty against righties, and you face my righties most of the time, so he's gonna be nasty. But Eugenio,
he's on a better team.
He fell off a cliff. No, they're both on the Mariners now. So
they both got traded. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Eugenio was looked at as the next Nolan Arenado. Like people were like, this guy's elite defensively and one of the best hitting third basemen in the league. Like they were like, it's Arenado and Suarez. Those are the two best third basemen in the league. And then out of nowhere, this guy just forgot how to hit. He was hitting bombs, but he was hitting like 220. And it was just like, what happened? And it was like, no. And then his defense started to suffer. And it's like, okay, let's cut it out here. So I want to see how he does when he's more so of when he doesn't try to hit home runs in whatever, T-Mobile Park or whatever it's called now.
I almost said Safeco. Don't worry, I don't believe
you. Yeah, I almost said Safeco too, but it's still Safeco. It's the same exact. It's safe.
We don't acknowledge the players, all right? We know the names.
Yeah. So I'm kind of under the impression that if Suarez doesn't try to hit 50 home runs this year and just tries to go gap to gap, he's gonna still, Safeco. Like you're not gonna hit as many home runs, but if you go gap to gap and Safeco and get at like 50 doubles and 30 home runs, he's an MVP.
Yeah.
That marine layer kills the ball, but I think they have a humidor in all 30 parks this year, so that ball's gonna be flying, bro. That ball's going to be flying. I'm just letting you know.
It's crazy how they gotta adjust the weather. Just make baseball an inside sport at this point, bro. Just put them all in a dome. Nah, but I do see that. Honestly, being that guys who ball out on teams that kind of like fall out at the end of the year, especially the teams like the Reds, the Cubs, for the most part, like of the last 2 years. especially a lot of those central teams. But usually when these guys find new homes, they find like, a lot of resurgence. There's a lot of upside to them. And the Mariners were on the verge of a playoff team last year. They could have essentially been the last playoff spot in, but they missed a couple games.
In this new current playoff format, they are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry. So no. Blue Jays
Toronto. It's Toronto,
but the Mariners one game behind them.
Again, they're on the verge. They're at the inches yard line trying to score into the playoff. But Winker, I'm excited for because I think he had a great season last year. Him, Castellanos were like cornerstones for that Reds offense. Suarez, I'm excited for. I like the point you made. Is he going to be filling in the other Seager spot?
Kyle
basically.
Kyle retired,
right? Yeah,
and that hurt because I thought the Yankees were going to trade for him. I'm not trade for him. I thought they were going to sign him because his issue was he was the worst hitter in baseball with nobody on base, but the absolute best hitter in baseball with somebody on base. So I was like, bat him 5 behind Judge and Stanton.
And maybe
Gallo. This guy would hit 5, like he would have like 56 home runs, like 138 RBIs. Like that's what I was thinking. Like, granted, highly unlikely, but he was the best hitter in baseball with people on base and the worst hitter when the bases were empty. So I'm trying to I was getting excited, like, man, put him on the Yankees at third base, have Gio just be shortstop. Like, I don't know why I thought that was ever going to be a thing, but I was kind of excited, and then have, same thing we're doing now. But I wouldn't feel bad if DJ played third base for Kyle Seager. Who cares?
Well, yeah. There's also
now I feel bad if Donaldson's making $25 million sitting on the bench. Like, nah, that's why I'm so like, it's never gonna happen. But yeah,
I'm the only other Reds guy I think, Castellanos I'm really looking forward to is all his untimely home runs, because since the incident with the Reds broadcaster, he always either has a major hit or hits a home run that like affects the game in a positive way. And it consistently happens. He's just like
clutch.
Will Smith did the thing last Sunday, and he hit a double or something that gave the Phillies the lead. And like the announcers were announcing what had happened, and they just interrupted with a double by Castellanos into left field. It's just fun.
That Phillies team is going to be nasty, but let's go. Keep going.
I hope the back end of their bullpen can hold 162 games together. That's their only problem.
That's not gonna happen.
I know.
But they should have enough hitting this year with Schwarber and Castellanos and Bryce Harper to just be nasty. So yeah.
My 4 is actually my MVP pick for this season. And
for National League or AL?
For National League.
Okay.
He's a favorite, but again, just I think the most exciting player in baseball outside of Ohtani, Juan Soto, is my MVP pick here for National League.
I don't know if I can be excited about Juan just because the team is going to be horrible.
But I think that's why I'm more excited, is because I don't have to care about anybody else on the Nationals except Juan Soto. Maybe Nelson Cruz, because he's going to hit right behind him and probably hit a home run.
Juan Soto's going to hit 360 this year.
Oh, he's going to be a nutcase at bat. He's going to hit every Soto shuffle. He said it even, I don't care who's pitching at me. I don't care if it's Scherzer, who's my best friend. I'm doing the Soto shuffle directly at him. And his flash, like as a player, like when you talk about baseball players who just like have swag, he's at the top of the list. It's going to be like him, Tim Anderson, Tatis, Machado. Most of these guys are like out there, outspoken, and they play good baseball. Like they're not just like solid trash talkers. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Juan Soto. I don't see how you couldn't be.
Think about the year he's going to have with Nelson Cruz behind him, bro.
I know.
This man is going to be insane.
He's going to be nasty.
Oh my gosh! But the team the team's gonna win 70 games. I can't get excited for that, man.
I don't even care. I don't care about the Nationals not one bit. But I want to see every Juan Soto at bat because I know it's gonna be.
Oh my god! He's gonna hit 360 with 40 bombs. Like what?
And in like 3 years, when he comes to the Yankees, then what?
No, we can't.
Then what?
Judge is going to be
we're
on
gonna afford him.
his 7
He's
year.
gonna be on his $800 million contract.
He passed up
He's gonna make it happen.
350 mil because he said, I'm gonna do more. Like, and I 100%
don't see how he wouldn't be. Oh yeah, I don't see how he wouldn't be one of the top paid players in baseball, especially after the seasons he's gonna have moving forward.
Man, he might not get to 100 RBIs just because the team is gonna be so bad, but he's going 360 and 40 with a 400 on base percentage, and Nelson Cruz is gonna have 100 RBIs.
Oh, I was gonna say he's not gonna have 100. He might have like
87 or 90 or something like that, but he's not
gonna have a low
100.
RBI. He's not. The only time he's gonna get an RBI is when he hits somebody home who walks on base at the bottom of the lineup, because there's no other way.
Yeah.
Who else is on that team? What, Josh Bell, something like that, second base?
Josh Bell, I think. No, yeah, Josh Bell's at first base. Then you have second baseman is Scott Kingery or something like that. I don't remember.
Let's not get through the Nationals lineup. We already said that's not the exciting part.
Yeah.
Juan Soto's the exciting part.
Juan Soto.
Who's your 4?
My 4 is a guy who you said earlier in this episode.
Yeah.
I want to see Cody Bellinger's resurgence.
Yeah.
That man,
another dude,
is projected to bat 7th in the Dodgers lineup. How dare you put that man 7th? He's one of the best players in baseball. He needs to bat 3rd in that. Though. He's been horrible. He won the MVP. Training. He won the MVP in 2019. Yeah. 2020, he fell off a cliff, but then came back in the playoffs and went crazy. And then 2021, he went back to being the worst player in baseball again. It's like, okay, Cody Bellinger. Having a bad spring means nothing. Having a good spring means nothing. Yeah. Remember the year, who was it? Somebody on the Yankees hit like 7 home runs in spring and then like was horrible in the regular season. It was somebody.
Oh, well, this year it'll be Higashioka, but in years past,
Higgy's only good in April because they only throw him fastballs in April. And then once he hits 8 home runs in April, he gets the boot. And they start throwing him off sliders.
Over.
But I'm excited about Bellinger because Bellinger should be an MVP candidate, but he's just been really bad. And really and truly, I like Trey Turner for the Dodgers, but I can't really get super excited about Trey Turner if Belly is not amazing. Because if Belly's amazing, you have Trey Turner leading off. No, Mookie Betts leading off. Trey Turner too. Freddie Freeman. God have mercy. Freddie Freeman batting 3rd. Then you have
Dustin Turner batting 4.
Dustin Turner batting 4. You have who's at AJ Pollock in the lineup. You have
Muncy if he's healthy.
Muncy. Again. Oh my God, what are we doing? Muncy's their DH, bro. You have Chris Taylor. Taylor's on the team.
He's back.
Oh God. How do you even play that team when you have Kershaw? You have Dustin May coming back from Tommy John. You have David Price, who's in the bullpen now. Like, David Price is still one of the best pitchers in like the history of baseball somehow. Okay, except for against
the Yankees. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
like
the Yankees smoked that man.
What? But they did lose Kenley Jensen, so that's the only reason why I'm not like the most hype off them, because they don't like him in the playoffs. He went to the Braves.
Yeah, that's right, and they paid him nice.
I think he had 1 year, 16 mil, but like the Braves the Dodgers just didn't like Kenley, and I'm sure of it because it's like he's like the number 2. He was like the number 3 closer. Is Chapman? No, for number 4. I would say it's Chapman. Not in any order, but it was Chapman, Hader, and Liam Hendricks. Those are the top 3 closers in the league. And then Kenley was right behind him. How do you? I
think his thing though is that, especially in like those World Series moments, he was brutal.
But at the same time, was it his fault? 2020 was not his fault.
No,
that was a very bad error in right field.
The Rosarena, God-given RBI single from hell.
every time you look at a bad situation with Kenley, it was because he gave up a hit and then something went bad in the field, and then it compounded on the situation. So it's like that's why everybody's
the
like
National Series for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
The Red Sox series, I think he was getting touched though. Like the Red Sox lineup that year was
1 year.
It was
everybody has
1 year.
Only person that hasn't had a bad year in the playoffs. There's only 2 guys, Mad Bum and Mariano.
Oh yeah,
those are the only 2 guys that was like And even Mariano lost the World Series on a walk off, and that was his fault. Like he should have struck him out. Sort of, and then you give a little bloop hit,
a jam bloop hit on the same cutter that he strikes everyone out with.
Everyone else, he just got lucky and made contact. So
yeah.
And who's your 5?
Yeah, so we have our 2 AL, NL, and then we have a bonus. This is a bonus that like I'm just excited because he's a new guy, Seiya Suzuki, who's on the Cubs, and I know the Cubs aren't going to be much of a factor this year. I don't even know where this guy's going to play, to be honest.
He'll probably end up in like center or something like that.
Maybe center or left. He's a right fielder, I think, by nature, but Hayward's there taking up $500 trillion still at age 30
still on the Cubs?
Yeah, bro. I saw him get a hit the other day. I'm like, is that a dinosaur?
Why did I think he was
T-Rex?
Why did I think he was on the Cardinals?
He's still on the Cubs. I'm looking at the roster right now too. He's from Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Hayward is from Ridgewood. Oh yeah, he was born in Ridgewood and then he moved to Atlanta.
Oh, that's what that is. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh yeah, but Seiya Suzuki, new guy. Supposed to be a real power bat in the Japanese league. I hope it translates. MLB is different. I don't really expect him to be the next Ohtani, but
I was about to say Ohtani did it, Matsui did it, Ichiro did it, Sin Chu, even though he's from the Korean league, I think. Everyone did it. Like not everyone, but like there's enough stories that make you say it's possible.
Yeah. Listen, baseball translates anywhere, right? Baseball is baseball in every league, professional, wherever. Obviously, baseball in the US here is the most marketable, most valuable, on top or whatever. But this guy coming into our league, it's not something we haven't seen before. So that's that excitement level, at least for me. And your bonus?
My bonus is I just want to see the trio of Pujols, Wainwright, and Yadi one more time, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Now, granted, Pujols is probably not going to play except when they need a hit, like in the 8th or 9th inning.
Hey, universal DH.
Yeah.
He might play against every single lefty.
Oh, that's also true, yeah. I forgot because that was his use on the Dodgers, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for what he's going to do on that team. And just off of the juice of Albert Pujols back on the Cardinals are going to win like 10 to 12 more games than they would have on the regular year. And then on top of that, they play the AL East this year in their interleague games. So when he makes that last trip to Yankee Stadium and they have that whole Albert Pujols like celebration, man, I might have to go to that game, bro. But by the way, Albert Pujols on the shirt.
I was going to say, I was like, yo, what shirt is that? Because I think that's an Angels shirt, it looks like.
Tell you, bro.
But I'm like, you got a Trout shirt, maybe.
Albert
maybe it's
Pujols on the shirt.
Alberto El Máquina. La Máquina. I know my Spanish. I'm excited for that too. I'm glad Albert's back. I'm glad that he stayed one more year because he was gonna retire after last season. But with the
that's what his
DH,
wife said. But he said, "Why would I? No, I never said I'm retiring." His wife.
Well,
said
I think also because baseball was doing its weird lockout thing for the last 3 months too. It didn't seem like feasible anyway to come back for like a half season or whatever they were planning on playing. But his wife was the one who said that last year. He basically pulled a Tom Brady without actually retiring, where his wife says he's retired and he comes back and plays the next year.
Exactly.
But I'm definitely excited for that. It's him, Yadi, and Waino are like the true Cardinals like core for the last like 15 years that basically did it all for him. I don't know if I see them making a World Series or pushing it through the playoffs, but it'll be exciting at least, if anything. But yeah, I mean, 5 players. I think we're excited for the 10 players that we picked, or more because you had like doubles and triples. But I think they're all going to have good seasons. A lot of those resurgence players, I think, were really in the gutter for the last 2 years with COVID speculation and other just like general mishaps, team mishaps, and whatever. But I'm feeling like this baseball season is starting to feel like the first more regular baseball season in like the last 3 seasons.
Oh yeah.
Or so. Right.
Well,
like there's not too many mishaps aside from the lockout happening. COVID seems to be under good pressure, like, keeping it out of whatever. And I think more so like baseball is just completely different this year. A lot of new players on new teams, and there should be a lot more competitiveness and a lot more to look forward to, especially with the new playoff formats, the way teams are laid out, team spending, if you can even include that. But more so than not, baseball, we're excited for it. Glad it's back, and back as in like it's actually going to be played. But go Yankees more than anything.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. I don't care about anything else that I said here. It's Yankees all day. From this point forward, we're pushing that agenda.
If the Yankees have a great season from IKF, or he's good for the first half of the year and they trade for somebody, or they call up Peraza or whatever it may be, the Yankees winning the World Series. Winning.
You know where I always stand is that the standard is the World Series. The standard for the Yankees.
We could talk about everybody on the Yankees. This team is old, slow. I don't care. If IKF is the X factor, Judge is going to give you a Judge year unless he gets hurt. Stanton is going to give you a Stanton year unless he gets hurt. Aaron Hicks is good enough. Joey Gallo, if he hits 210 and gives us 40 bombs, that's a joke. Like, come on. If IKF hits 300, I'm not asking him to go 350, 320. Give me 290 with 180 hits and a 320 bat on base percentage. It doesn't even have to be amazing. 320 all OBP. The Yankees win the World Series because Judge is going to have 160 RBIs. Let me qualify it with this.
Oh, yeah.
The Yankees have to trade for a catcher because I don't know who this Ben Rortvedt guy is, but nah. I don't even.
It doesn't look like he's going to be a factor at all, and it looks like we're getting a full year of Higgy. Like, aside from the oblique injury, it doesn't sound like this guy has any business, like, even being on the team right now.
The Yankees only traded for him because their strength and conditioning guy, Cressy.
Yeah,
he said that is my personal catcher. Whenever I do anything, I work with him. He knows he knows how to do blah, blah, blah. And then he knows Kluber used to throw to him, all of these. So he knows how to call a game. He knows how to control the pitching staff. That is my guy. So that's the reason why the Yankees traded for him with Donaldson and IKF.
Do we expect him to be backup opening day?
He's hurt. He has oblique, so he's not going to be back until probably May.
Okay.
But when he comes back in May,
IKF.
I think what they're going to do is like the last day of spring training, all those guys that usually get cut, they're probably just gonna like pick one up. Like Robinson Chirinos is gonna get. They
have that guy from last year still there, Ben something. I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be back on opening day. Oh man, what's his name? The guy with no arm, like no arm from behind the plate.
Yeah,
like, he was so bad.
I actually think he's hurt, maybe, but I think he's gonna be good for opening day.
What was his name?
Bro, I swear I'm trying to find it. Yankees catchers.
And Austin Wells is on that. I feel like that's part of the reason why the Yankees won't trade or sign a catcher either, because Austin Wells is right around the corner. He's going to be ready for 2023, they said. So if Austin Wells comes in, but they're trying to move him off catcher because he's a bad guy. He's like another Gary, and they're trying not to do that again. Where it's like, he's not going to catch the ball ever.
Mm-hmm. Save his legs, save his body entirely, basically.
Exactly.
But interesting. I don't know who that Yankees catcher is, but we'll figure it out. We'll put it on Twitter or something. I don't know.
No,
he might be open day, whatever. DROD Shaniac Sports Podcast, episode 33. This is our baseball episode, our outlook into the new season, some thoughts on what Cashman's talking about with that 2017 scandal. Of course, you can find our episodes right here live on YouTube. You can also catch us through the sound waves on Podbean, Spotify Pod, Apple Pod, iHeartRadio, and Pandora Podcast. Keep tuning in every week. There you go. Rob. the Cobb, Brantley, our guy. I hope Sevy's good opening day. I don't think he's gonna be, but
Yeah,
he's gonna be
fine.
hurt. Yeah.
No, he should be fine because they scratched him, but he was like, "Oh, my arm was a little tight when I woke up," but then he still threw 30 pitches in a like a bullpen, so he should be fine.
They're just keeping him low for spring training.
Yeah, they'll probably pitch him like game 4 instead of game 2. So like it'll be Cole, Tyone, Monty, Sevy.
Cole, Monty.
They're not gonna pitch Monty.
We had this argument last week or like 2 weeks ago, but we'll see.
They're not doing it, bro.
We'll see. All right. Episode 33. Keep tuning in every week. We'll have more content for you. NBA season's ending next week. Look forward for an episode for that. And keep hitting us up on Twitter, on TikTok, all our platforms, Instagram coming soon. And yeah. Goodbye, Lakers. That's my last comment of the night. Goodbye, Lakers. They're done. They are toast.
If LeBron didn't sprain his ankle, they would have locked up that number 10 seed, and any team with LeBron on it in the playoffs has a chance.
Yeah.
Unless you're facing the Suns. Unless you're facing the Suns.
So beating the Suns, bro.
So they wouldn't make it out the first round, but they would have gotten to the playoffs. So
they would have made the seeding. That's about it, though. All right, y'all. Catch us next week. Peace out.